Have you ever met someone who spends their whole life fighting bad habits, only to fail over and over again? Maybe it's alcohol, drugs, procrastination, or even something like overeating. They start strong, cutting out everything bad, hitting the gym daily, promising themselves this time will be different. But then life happens, stress, work, family, school. And just like that, all that effort crumbles. They fall back into old patterns, sometimes even worse than before. This is more common than you think. And maybe, just maybe, it's your story too. But what if I told you there's a method, a surprisingly simple system, built from a mix of philosophies like Ikigai, Kaizen, Hara Hachi Bu, Wabi-Sabi, and Gambaru, that can actually help you break free from any habit? It goes against everything traditional self-help tells you. It's not about massive effort or willpower. In fact, it starts with steps so small, so tiny, you'll doubt it could work. Until one day it does. Before I dive in, hit subscribe, like this video, and tell me, what's the habit you most want to change? I've read countless comments from people who've tried these methods, and they've seen real, lasting change. The spark for this video came from a subscriber asking for help with obesity. So today, that's our focus. But trust me, this method applies to any struggle in life. Thank you for being here, and let's get into it. Chapter 1, The Wake-Up Call. Today, let me introduce you to a man named Jonathan. At 42 years old and weighing 145 kilos, Jonathan was slowly letting his body betray him without even noticing. He wasn't careless or lazy. For 18 years, he managed the inventory at a logistics company, waking at 5:30 a.m. and returning home at 7:30 p.m. 2 kids, a loving partner, bills piling up, the standard life of someone who provides tirelessly and forgets about himself. Breakfast was scarfed down in the car, lunch eaten hurriedly at his desk, dinner often in front of the TV because exhaustion had taken over family time. Weekends were dominated by takeout, soda, and the couch. He told himself he deserved it. After all, he worked harder than anyone he knew. But his body was sending warning signals. Climbing stairs felt like a marathon. Tying his shoes was an ordeal. Playtime with his children? Excuses were easier than action. His partner suggested a family walk, but he felt too drained to participate. What hurt the most wasn't his weight. It was the subtle disappointment in his daughter's eyes as she stopped inviting him to join her games. He felt it, but did nothing. Jonathan had tried before 3 times. 2 months at the gym, 3 weeks of a strict diet, 5 days of morning runs. Each attempt fizzled. He had reached a dangerous state where defeat becomes comfortable. This is who I am, he thought. I've always been heavy. My metabolism is slow. I don't have the time. Then came the Saturday that changed everything. Jonathan was in the backyard, watching his 9-year-old son play soccer. Not playing, just observing. The boy kicked a ball into the neighbor's garden. "Dad, can you get it?" Jonathan stood, walked over, bent to retrieve the ball, and found himself unable to rise. His legs couldn't carry his own weight. Sweat poured down his face as he struggled on all fours. His son standing silently nearby. The neighbor came out to help him up. That night, sitting on the edge of the bed, Jonathan wept. 42 years old, and he needed help to stand. He cried for his son, for the memory he was imprinting on the child. Dad was weak. His partner entered, wordless, just embracing him before saying softly, "Jonathan, you need help truly." The next morning, he reached out to his old friend Leo, who had transformed his own life, losing 35 kilos and appearing vibrant, full of energy. "Leo, I need guidance. Did you go on medicine? Surgery? How did you do it?" Leo smiled. "I did see a doctor, yes, but not the kind you're thinking. No pills, no drastic surgery. He gave me a philosophy, a way of thinking. And that, Jonathan, is what changed everything." Chapter 2, The Philosopher Doctor. The following Tuesday, Jonathan found himself in a minimalist consultation room that felt more like a study than a doctor's office. No clinical smells, no anatomical charts, just a simple wooden table, 2 chairs, and a large window framing a serene garden. Dr. Hiroshi Sato entered, a thin man in his mid-60s, with the calm posture of a Zen monk. "Jonathan, what brings you here?" Jonathan poured out everything. The weight gain, the exhaustion, the games he skipped with his children, and the humiliating moment in the neighbor's garden. He expected advice about diets, workout plans, or prescriptions. Dr. Sato didn't reach for a clipboard or a computer. He simply asked, "How many times have you tried to change before?" Jonathan counted off past attempts, gym stints, restrictive diets, short-lived runs. Dr. Sato nodded thoughtfully. "And do you know why they failed?" Jonathan recited the usual excuses. Lack of time, genetics, slow metabolism. The doctor held up a hand. "No, you fail because you attempted to win a 40-year war in just a few months. Your body has taken decades to reach this point, your habits decades to form, and you expect to undo it in weeks." Silence filled the room. "Jonathan, I have a proposition," Dr. Sato continued. "A change so small it will seem absurd. Will you do it?" Jonathan, desperate, agreed. "Every morning, before anything else, drink a glass of water. That's it. Nothing else." Jonathan blinked. "Just a glass of water?" "Yes, for 2 weeks. You may continue your normal routines. Pizza, TV, beer. Just add this one action." "Why?" "Because this is not about the water. It's about showing your brain that you can keep a promise to yourself." Jonathan left confused and slightly irritated. A $200 consultation for a glass of water? But Dr. Sato's words lingered. A promise to yourself. That night, he filled a glass of water and placed it by his bedside. The next morning at 5:30 a.m., he drank it. Simple. Day after day, he repeated the ritual. By day 7, he awoke before the alarm, instinctively searching for the glass. By day 14, he returned to Dr. Sato's office. "Did you drink water every day? How do you feel?" the doctor asked. Jonathan shrugged. "Honestly, slightly silly. I didn't lose any weight, but I did it. 2 whole weeks." Dr. Sato smiled. "You've learned the first principle of Kaizen, continuous improvement through tiny, manageable steps. You didn't attempt to climb the entire mountain at once. One small step at a time." Jonathan's eyes widened. "So, it's not about the water?" "No," Dr. Sato said. "It's about proving to yourself that change is possible, that you are someone who can follow through." "Next step?" Jonathan asked. "Keep drinking water, but now add something else. For every meal, serve only half your usual portion. Wait 20 minutes before seconds. This is another small, deliberate step. Are you ready?" Jonathan hesitated for a moment, then nodded. 2 weeks of consistency had taught him that even the smallest actions could lead to change. Good. We'll meet again in 3 weeks. Chapter 3. The Hidden Philosophy. What Dr. Sato didn't reveal to Jonathan at first was that he wasn't merely learning new habits. He was being introduced to a centuries-old philosophical system that had guided generations in Japan. Kaizen was only the doorway, the principle of improving just 1% each day. Perfection wasn't required tomorrow, just a tiny step better than today. And when you compound 1% daily over a year, the growth isn't linear. It's exponential, turning small, consistent actions into massive transformation. Some habits, Dr. Sato explained, act as keystone habits. Implementing them triggers a domino effect across other areas of life. Focus on the core habit, and other positive changes begin almost effortlessly. Jonathan's first week with half-portion meals was torturous. Every meal ended, and he found himself staring at the stove, wanting more. His mind screamed, "You're still hungry. Eat." But he remembered Dr. Sato's instruction. Wait 20 minutes. If you're still hungry, eat more. In 3 weeks, he needed seconds only twice. His body wasn't craving food. It was conditioned by years of indulgence. Dr. Sato was teaching him the principle of Hara Hachi Bu, eating until 80% full, without yet naming it. At the next consultation, Jonathan had lost 3 kilos. It's not about the weight, Dr. Sato said. It's about direction. For the first time in decades, your body is moving toward where you want it to go. I feel different, Jonathan admitted. Not just lighter, but in control. Exactly, said Dr. Sato. Now the next step. Movement, not the kind you're imagining. Each morning after your water, walk from your door to the mailbox and back. Jonathan laughed. The mailbox. That's 20 meters. This is an exercise. True, Dr. Sato smiled. It's about reminding your body how it moves. Today, the mailbox. Next week, maybe the corner. Step by step. Jonathan followed the advice. Water in the morning, half meals, mailbox walks. On the 3rd day, his daughter appeared. Dad, can I come with you? They walked together, hand in hand, talking about school, friends, and small secrets she had never shared. When they returned, she asked, "Can we do this every day?" The following week, Jonathan extended the walk to the corner store, not because Dr. Sato instructed him, but because his daughter wanted him to. For the first time in years, he succeeded without fatigue or pain. By the end of the 2nd month, he had lost 8 kilos. But the transformation wasn't just physical, it was in his eyes. A spark, a light that hadn't been there for decades. During a consultation, Dr. Sato asked, "Jonathan, why are you doing all this? To lose weight?" Jonathan paused, reflecting deeply for the first time. "No, I want to see my children grow up. I want to walk my daughter down the aisle someday. I want to be present for my family and feel worthy of myself." That is your Ikigai, Dr. Sato said. Your purpose. Weight is merely the obstacle between you and your reason for being. Purpose doesn't fade like motivation. It fuels every action you take. From that day on, mornings weren't about water or diet. They were about holding his daughter's hand. Meals weren't about calories. They were about walking her down the aisle. Purpose had replaced motivation, and Jonathan's life began to change in ways he had never imagined. Chapter 4. The First Stumble. 3 months into his journey, Jonathan had lost 15 kilos. His clothes hung looser, co-workers noticed, and he brushed off compliments with, "Just making a few small changes." Then came Thanksgiving. The table groaned under turkey, mashed potatoes, stuffing, and desserts. Jonathan tried to stick to his half-portion rule, but family curiosity and subtle pressure wore him down. "Is that all you're eating?" his mother asked. "Come on, it's Thanksgiving." His brother-in-law laughed. "Forget the diet for a day." Social pressure can silently undo progress. Jonathan gave in, filling his plate and eating until he was painfully full. That night, staring in the mirror, he thought, "I've ruined it. I'll fail like always." The next morning, he didn't want water or walks. Old patterns whispered, "Since you failed, why bother?" Then he remembered Dr. Sato's words, "You will stumble. When it happens, you discover if you've truly changed." He texted the doctor, "I overate yesterday. I think I've ruined everything. I don't know if I can continue." 2 minutes later, a reply, "Come see me this afternoon." Jonathan sat in Dr. Sato's office, expecting a lecture. Instead, Dr. Sato asked, "What happened?" Jonathan explained everything. Then the doctor asked, "Did you drink water this morning? Did you walk?" "Yes," Jonathan replied. "So you didn't fail," Dr. Sato said gently. "You stumbled. There's a difference. Stumbling is momentary. Falling is giving up entirely." Dr. Sato leaned forward. "Now let's talk about Wabi-Sabi. It's the philosophy that finds beauty in imperfection. One day of overeating doesn't erase 3 months of consistent effort. Imperfection is part of life and part of growth." Jonathan felt a weight lift. The expectation of perfection shattered, replaced by acceptance. "But what if I overeat again?" he asked. "You will," Dr. Sato replied. "Multiple times. But each time you'll rise. Water, half meals, walks. Practice isn't never failing. It's always returning." That realization changed everything. Jonathan focused on consistency over perfection. Dr. Sato continued. Now let's discuss Gambaru, perseverance. You endured discomfort yesterday, kept moving today, and that is Gambaru. It's endurance knowing hardship is temporary. In the following months, Jonathan stumbled multiple times, overeating at Christmas, birthday cake for his son, indulgent weekends, but he always returned to his habits. Water, half portions, mailbox walks. Each stumble became smaller, less frequent. By the 6th month, he had lost 24 kilos. But the real transformation wasn't on the scale. It was the night he went downstairs to play Lego with his son and then stood up effortlessly. The night his partner suggested a walk, and he said yes without hesitation. The Saturday when his daughter asked him to play tag, and he ran, laughed, and played with energy he hadn't felt in decades. From the kitchen window, his partner smiled. The man she had married, the essence, the spirit, was returning, stronger than ever. Chapter 5. The question that changes everything. By the 9th month, Jonathan had lost 36 kilos. He no longer walked just to the corner. He was walking 30 minutes every morning. Half portions were no longer about discipline. His body naturally craved less. But more than his body had changed, Jonathan had become a different person. During that month's consultation, Dr. Sato looked at him and asked, Jonathan, when was the last time you thought about giving up? Jonathan paused. Last week, last month, he couldn't remember. I don't know. It's been a while, he admitted. That's because you've stopped trying to change and started living differently. It's no longer about effort, it's about identity. You're no longer a man trying to lose weight. You're a man who takes care of himself. That's the difference between temporary change and permanent transformation. Dr. Sato pulled out a sheet of paper and drew 5 interconnected circles. Everything you've learned over these 9 months can be summarized in these 5 philosophies. Ikigai, discovering your purpose. It's not just about losing weight. It's about being present for your family and life. Kaizen, improving 1% each day. Small actions like water, food, and movement that accumulate into lasting change. Hara Hachi Bu, practicing moderation. Eating until 80% full, not 120%. Wabi-Sabi, embracing imperfection. You stumbled, but you always returned. Gambaru, perseverance. On difficult days, you didn't give up. You did the bare minimum to maintain momentum. Jonathan stared at the paper. Those 5 principles explained his entire transformation. Doctor, can I take this with me? You can, Dr. Sato replied. But understand this. This isn't a weight loss system. It's a lifestyle system. You can apply it to anything you want to change. Career, relationships, finances, anything. Chapter 6. The Moment of Truth. In the 12th month, Jonathan went for a routine blood test, something he had avoided for years out of fear. The doctor at the health center examined the results and blinked in surprise. Jonathan, have you started any new treatment? Why? Your cholesterol is down. Your blood pressure is normal for the first time in years, and your blood sugar is excellent. What are you doing? Jonathan chuckled. Drinking water every morning, he said, half in jest. The doctor didn't understand the joke, but Jonathan did. It wasn't the water. It was 365 days of small, consistent actions, water, half portions, and daily walks. A single glass didn't change his health, but 365 of them, combined with small daily choices, had transformed his body. That evening, he stood in front of the mirror at home for the first time in 2 decades, without shame. He wasn't perfect, loose skin remained, and he had about 15 kilos left to reach his ideal weight. But what he saw was a man who had kept a promise to himself every day for an entire year. By the 18th month, Jonathan had lost 52 kilos, weighing a healthy 90 kilos. He wasn't the thinnest man alive, but he was strong, healthy, and fully present. At his daughter's birthday party in the park, he ran and played tag with her and his son for the first time without exhaustion. One parent asked, "How did you do it?" Jonathan considered explaining the philosophies, Kaizen, Ikigai, Hara Hachi Bu, but chose simplicity. 1 step at a time, literally, he said. That night, Lying in bed with his wife, she whispered, "Do you know what I love most about your transformation?" "What?" Jonathan asked. "It's not the weight. It's that you came back. The man I married, the father our children deserve. You were here physically, but not really present. Now you are." Jonathan held her hand. "I almost gave up so many times, but I didn't." "No, you didn't," she reminded him. A Stanford study on habit formation shows most change fails not because people lack strength, but because they attempt too much too quickly. The brain resists drastic changes as threats. Introducing micro changes, less than 1% per day, bypasses this resistance, effectively rewiring your nervous system. Similarly, studies of Okinawa centenarians show they live longest not on extreme diets, but through moderation, daily movement, a clear purpose, acceptance of imperfection, and perseverance. Neuroscience confirms that when behaviors become part of your identity, willpower is no longer required. The actions become automatic. Jonathan's transformation didn't stop at weight loss. In his second year, he applied Kaizen at work, small, consistent improvements that eventually earned him a promotion to regional manager. In his third year, he applied Ikigai to his marriage, cultivating a partnership of mutual growth. Nightly walks, meaningful conversations, and planning for the future became their new rhythm. His daughter, now 12, said one day, "Dad, do you remember when you couldn't play with me?" "I remember," he said. "But what I remember most," she said, "is the day you started walking with me to the mailbox. That's when I knew you were going to be okay." Jonathan realized his transformation wasn't just his own. It had shaped the entire family. His son, now 14, began waking early to exercise, inspired by his father. His wife began meditating, seeing firsthand that change was possible. True transformation, Jonathan understood, is not contagious. It is permissive. By changing himself, he granted permission for everyone around him to grow and change too. Chapter 7. The Complete System. 2 years after that first consultation, Jonathan weighed 88 kilos. He had maintained his transformation. Water in the morning was still his ritual. Daily walks were non-negotiable. He ate only until he was 80% satisfied, because that had become who he was. But the most remarkable change wasn't just in Jonathan. He now coached others. Colleagues, friends, even strangers noticed his transformation and asked, "How did you do it?" Jonathan would smile and ask, "Let me ask you something. What's the smallest change you can make today?" People often responded with, "I could start going to the gym." "No," Jonathan would say. "Smaller than that. Much smaller." "Like what?" "Like drinking a glass of water first thing in the morning." The person would laugh, and Jonathan would nod. "That's it. 2 weeks. Then we talk again." 9 out of 10 people never returned, still chasing the magic solution, the 21-day plan, the miracle diet, the instant transformation. But the 10th person came back in 2 weeks and said, "I drank water every day. You were right. I feel different." Jonathan knew immediately. This was the person who understood. This person would succeed. Dr. Sato eventually retired. During his final consultation, he told Jonathan, "You know, you never truly needed me. Everything I taught you was already inside you. I just gave you permission to go slowly, to accept imperfection, to persist even when it was hard, but the strength was always yours." "I literally couldn't get up from squatting position years ago," Jonathan admitted. Dr. Sato smiled. "Physically, yes, but mentally, you rose every day, going to work, supporting your family, enduring exhaustion, frustration, and shame. You always had Gambaru. You just didn't know it yet. All you needed was a system that respected your humanity, one that didn't ask you to be a superhero overnight, but allowed your imperfection, your fatigue, and your limits to guide your transformation." The philosophies Jonathan had learned weren't about perfection. They were about being human and continuing to be human day after day without giving up. Jonathan embraced Dr. Sato that day, filled with profound gratitude. Dr. Sato hadn't saved his life. He had given it back. Chapter 8. The Legacy. On the living room wall of Jonathan's home hangs a photo. He weighs 142 kilos, sitting in a plastic chair in the backyard, watching his children play. Not joining in, just observing. Beside it is another photo. Jonathan at 88 kilos, on the floor playing Lego with his son, his daughter climbing on his back, both of them laughing uncontrollably. His wife had captured that second moment without him noticing. When he saw it, he asked, "Why did you take this picture?" She smiled and said, "Because this is the moment I've been waiting for 10 years, the moment you truly came back." But the real significance of this story isn't the 54 kilos lost, or reversing health problems, or even the career success he achieved. It's in what his children saw and learned. His daughter, now 12, recently told a friend, "My dad is the most disciplined person I know," because she grew up witnessing him drink water every morning, take his daily walks, stumble, fall, and always rise again. She learned firsthand that transformation isn't about fleeting motivation, it's about identity. And when she faces challenges at 20, 30, or 40, she will remember. She'll remember that her father proved that change is possible, one small choice at a time, every single day. This is Jonathan's true legacy. It isn't the lean body, the health metrics, or the promotions. It's the living proof that you can become the person you want to be, as long as you patiently build them, brick by brick. And now, a question for you. If you follow Jonathan's journey this far, it means you are searching for something. Maybe it's overcoming a habit, a long-term struggle, or simply stepping into a life you feel you've been missing. You might think, "This won't work for me. My situation is harder, more complex, different." You're right. Your circumstances are unique, but the system remains the same. The challenge isn't a lack of knowledge. You already know what to eat, how to move, the habits that matter. The problem isn't knowing, it's doing. And you can't do it because you're trying to do everything at once. You're attempting to win a 20-year war in just 21 days. And every time you try, you fail. And every time you fail, it cements a story in your mind. "I can't do this. I'm weak. I'm undisciplined." But that's a lie. You're not weak. You've just been following the wrong system. The system I'm sharing with you isn't about quick fixes or overnight transformations. It's about lasting change. You don't need 30 days to reinvent yourself. You need years of consistent, tiny actions. And consistency only sticks when the actions are small enough to survive the hard days. So here's the challenge, the same one Dr. Sato gave to Jonathan years ago. Pick one change, the tiniest change possible. So small it feels almost ridiculous. So simple it seems meaningless. Drink a glass of water each morning. Do 5 push-ups before bed. Meditate for 1 minute. Read a single page of a book. Anything, but just one thing. Do it every day for 14 days. Nothing more. Don't rush. Don't stack other habits. Just this one thing. By day 14, you'll have proven something powerful. Not that you've lost weight or cured a bad habit, but that you can keep a promise to yourself. And once you trust yourself to keep one promise, you can keep any promise. Then, you take the next tiny step, and the next, and slowly, without noticing, you've built a new identity, one microscopic choice at a time. Jonathan took years. Maybe it will take you months, maybe years, but time passes anyway. The real question is, 5 years from now, will you be staring in the mirror with shame, or with pride at someone who fulfilled every promise they made to themselves? Ikigai gives you purpose. Kaizen gives you the method. Hara Hachi Bu teaches moderation. Wabi-Sabi shows compassion for yourself. Gambaru builds your strength. You don't need all 5 at once. Just start with one today. And when you stumble, because you will, don't quit. Just rise again. Practice isn't about never falling. It's about always getting back up. So here's what I want from you. Comment below with the first, smallest step you will take tomorrow. Don't outline your full transformation. Just the first action. Publicly committing turns thought into promise. And promise is where real change begins. I'll read every comment. In 2 weeks, we'll see who took that first tiny step toward becoming the person they truly want to be. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to start. If you've watched this far, Thank you. Your attention shows commitment. See you on the path. And remember, be present, move with intention, follow your path one step at a time.